God bless you. Welcome back to our review of Abattoir season 1. Today we are touching episode 2 of season 1. How have you been? If you're meeting me for the first time, Pastor Grace Donald, and we are going to have a wonderful time analyzing this amazing, inspiring movie that has been a blessing to the body of Christ. So, in episode 2, remember that episode 1 ended with Martins discovering the ritual materials of his dad right in his dad's cupboard. That wasn't smart enough of Chief Duru's Sonia, was it? Should have kept it safe, seeing that now the son is already, asking questions. But then when God wants to disgrace you, anything can happen, right? So I think that was God's doing, to disgrace him to his son, so that the son will know the kind of father that he has. Now in episode 2, we see Martins opening up to Baba Gbenro, and we get to know how Baba Gbenro got to be Martins' guardian, how Baba Gbenro got to be his second father. All right, so we discover from the beginning that Victor, Martins' secondary school friend, is very excited about getting knocked out using hard drugs. And this is supposed to be a pastor's child. Does that make sense? The devil is after pastors' children as even more than is after, the normal Christian or normal unbelievers' children, because they are the seed of the woman that will bruise the head of the devil. So, you have a pastor, you know their children, please pray for them. Don't just look at them and compare yourself to them and say, you see what pastors' children are doing. Those people are facing a lot of battles. If you are facing 10 battles, they are probably facing 100. Yes, because of the calling of their parents and the grace of God upon their life. So you have a pastor, please intercede for them and their children, because it's not easy what they are going through. So you see a pastor's son who is supposed to be under the canopy of God, under the shield of God, happy about his life not being complicated. He's actually complaining and wanting his life to be complicated. He's getting excited and so excited about getting knocked out with hard drugs, which his friend promised to bring to the club for him that night. And he doesn't even have the money to buy it, because of course, the father will not give him that kind of money, And then he's trusting Martins, who he knows the father is very rich, blood money, as we are getting to know now, to bring the money for them to go and get high. And I love Martins. From the very beginning of that season 1, Martins was very specific. Don't give me anything that will make me go mad, because if it does, I'm going to punch you right in your face, he said. And did Victor get that punch? Yes, he got that punch. Because after seeing the ritual materials that the father kept, Martins is now very sure of what he saw. That psyching that the father was trying to do, telling him that it was a dream when he saw him pouring blood on the mother's picture during rituals. The father had psyched him that it was a dream, he's out of his mind, the death of his mom is affecting him. But now he gets to know that it wasn't just a dream, this is real. The father is actually a ritualist. I haven't seen those spiritual materials. So his head is now scattered, let me use that word, and he's looking for something to just get his mind off. So he calls Victor, and the club that he never even thought was never excited about. He was never excited about going to the club. He's not excited about going because he needs something to take his mind off. Now, is that not what people do? They go into drugs. They go into drinking, smoking, what again? Womanizing, doing the wrong things just to get the heat off their body. But none of those things can take the heat off you. Only Jesus can take the heat off you. So if you are there and in that situation, you're looking for something to knock you out, to just forget your sorrow, forget your pain, forget your fears. It's just for a moment. Once that thing wears out, once that drug wears out, once that drink wears out, you come back to reality. So why go into that ways when you can embrace Jesus, who can take those hits from you without any negative side effects? So they went to the club, got high, got drunk, and Martins landed in the gutter. He slept in the gutter. Is that a life you want to live? He ended up in the gutter, and that wasn't funny at all. So by the time the father gets to hear what happened, he was already summoned in school and was being expelled. What about his friend Victor? Victor ended up under his father's car. He made a comfortable bed for himself under his father's car and slept there all through the night. And in the morning, we saw the father trying to move the car, and then they saw he's there, and now they are very careful to make sure they don't hit him. So imagine if the father had hit him with that car, or just ride on him. That would have been a terrible situation. So you see, those things, those so-called escape routes that people take to forget their problems, they are not really the solution. Only Jesus can take your burdens from you. So whatever is your burden, whatever you think is the excitement you are getting from the world, remember, it's not excitement at all. The real life is in Jesus. Come to Jesus and it will give you life, and life more abundantly. So thank God for the kind of parents that Victor had. They dealt with him mercilessly. Oh, I love that discipline they gave to him. And they read the Bible into his head alongside the discipline. And that is how we should discipline our children. The Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. Forget what the Europe schools and Europe system is saying. Please follow the Bible system of training your children. And I love one word the father, you said, this is your haircut, we are going to go skinny. He's going to remove the hair and make him go skin tight, because the hair seems to be affecting and making him think that he's a big boy, you know, a happening boy and all that. Anyways, I'm not saying that, you know, having a nice haircut, you know, cutting styles and not skin cut is the perfect way of righteousness. But I'm just saying that if your right hand will cause you to sin, cut it off. And the father thought that that haircut was his problem, you know, it was part of his problem anyway. And they thought that's one way to punish him, because he actually likes being a guy. So he loves carving guy man's style. So that was one way of punishing him, taking off the hair. And he really even felt it. He was like, wow, you take off, please leave my hair. Anyways, he was punished for it, and death with the way every godly parents should deal with their child who is straying from the way of truth. And that's for that. And then we saw Sonia and what was his name, his best friend Bade, in the club, talking about their way back, their life back in the university, and how they thought they are going to be a blessing to the society when they enter politics. You know, is that not what is happening in our country, Nigeria? We're looking for something that will fix our politics, and people going with the hope of fixing it, but they get there and get corrupt. And they hear that slogan, if you cannot be, then join them. Please don't join them. You can be a light that shines brightly in darkness that darkness cannot comprehend. We need somebody that will fix Nigeria for us. We need a government that will fix Nigeria for us. So if you get there as a Christian, please don't get corrupted. Rather, let your good overcome the evil. And the light of God shines brightly in darkness. Darkness cannot comprehend it. So don't let darkness swallow you up. Rather, overcome evil with good. And so that was all they were talking about. They went in with the purpose of overcoming evil with good, but they became the evil themselves, because now they are into cults, into fraternity, and the fraternity requires them to sacrifice every now and then. Now, Bade doesn't, what's his name, Chiduro Soya doesn't feel any sign of remorse over sacrificing the wife. He just felt it's a necessary thing that he had to do. It was necessary sacrifice, and he had to sacrifice it. No sense of remorse in him. But they feel a little remorse, and then they drink to their meeting in hell. Can you imagine? So many people have resolved to ending up in hell, and they don't care. I pray that that will not be your life in the name of Jesus. Do not have a dead conscience. Only a dead conscience will say, I don't care what happens. Let me enjoy this life now. What happens thereafter is not my business. But the real life is not in this physical body. The real life is in your spirit man. When your soul dies, that is the real death. When your spirit faces judgment, that is the real death. And people are not seeing that. They're just seeing the physical enjoyment. What will it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? You know, this pleasure is just for a while. It fades out. It fades out. The Bible says when you gain riches the wrong way, it grows wings and flies away. So do not kill people to get money or to get power or to get fame. It doesn't last and it doesn't profit. You don't get peace from it. You don't get joy from it. Only Jesus is the true peace that satisfies all day long and forever. So they resolve to their fate, and Bade is now ready to sacrifice a university girl, 300 level in the university. And she's so crazy about having big daddies, sugar daddies that can give her money to live a flashy life in school. And she was so stupid enough to compare herself to other people who have been doing it, or other Christians who have been living holy, and at the end of the day, they end up not enjoying the fullness of life in marriage or others, Now, let me talk about that briefly. You may be serving God and then go through tough time as if you have not kept yourself, For example, I remember when I married so late in spite of, keeping myself. But at the end of the day, God is never late. When he comes late for you, it's because he's coming big for you. And my life is a testimony of that. When he keeps you on the waiting list, it's because your miracle is so big. You can't compare the way a dog gives birth to the way an elephant gives birth. So when the Lord seems to come late for you, it's because it's coming big for you. It's because your greatness is much. So you need to be cooked well and prepared well to be able to handle it when the time comes. So do not ever think that God abandons you. Oh, in spite of all that I've been serving God from my childhood, in spite of this, that. When God comes late, it comes big for you. So if you are facing a situation and you're thinking, oh, all these people that went to prostitution, my friends in the university that slept around. I had people in the friends. I knew people in the university who were, playing around, jumping from pillar to post. From one guy to another, from one party to another, from one sugar daddy to another sugar daddy. I don't know how they ended up today. Some may have ended up badly, some may have ended up well. But at the end of the day, we don't compare ourselves to them because our life is not their life. Our race is not their race. Our future is not their future. God has a big thing in store for us, so we cannot mess it up. We cannot entangle ourselves with the things that will not allow us to reach it. So keep yourself and allow God to come through for you. When he comes through for you, you'll be happy, you'll be glad, you will enjoy the fullness of it, and no sorrow will be added to your joy. Yeah, I thought I should just say that to everybody right now that may be in school or anywhere. You're seeing people going the wrong way, doing the wrong thing, and they seem to be happy in it. They are not happy in it. And it didn't end well for this young lady, no. Because that very night she went out, she never came back again. She was Bade's sacrifice. She was sacrificed after enjoying all the pleasures of life. Did she even really enjoy the pleasures of life? She was cut short 300 level. An undergraduate, a battle graduate, cut short just like that. When you can live your life to the fullest. Now, she didn't know that it was going to end for her that day. She was thinking that her grace would be probably the same grace with what some other people have had who walked the wrong way and then finally gave their life to Christ and are still living well today. But she didn't have that kind of grace. So you don't know the kind of rope that God has given to you, the kind of grace that you have. Graces vary. She didn't have the opportunity to turn to God. She died that night, probably without even giving her life to Christ or realizing her faults. So it may be too late. Don't go that way. Stick to the right way. The right way of life is the way of the Lord. I choose the way of the Lord. For the way of the Lord is the way of success. Joshua 1:8 says, only then will you prosper and have good success. There are so many successes out there, but we need the good success. So that young lady went for the bad success, and she was cut off in the prime of her life and left her parents in sorrow. And guess what? Her parents were Christians, and they have been teaching her the right thing, and she chose the wrong way. I love God. He will never force you. He will give you the choices, show you the good, show you the bad, and then ask you to choose. Tell you the consequences of the good and the consequences of the bad, and then tell you to choose, because he has made you a free man. Choose. Free will. Choose. What are you choosing today? I ask you. What are you choosing? You already know the good, you already know the evil. What are you choosing? Please choose right. You even beg, say, I beg you to choose right so you can live. So choose right so you can live. That young lady chose wrong, and so she died at a very young age. And thank God for her roommates who even tried to warn her, but she refused and still went anyways. And then she became the sacrifice for Bade's fraternity and power and fame to continue. Then what else did we see in this movie? We saw Martins opening up to Baba Gbenro, his second father, his guardian father, his foster father, because we discovered that at the end of the day, Chief Duro Sonya discussed with Bade that Martins has seen everything. Martins has discovered that no blood, no glory is their creed, and not him having high blood pressure. Neither was it Bade's daughter called Glory, because he had confirmed from Bade without Bade knowing. What a smart boy he was. Very smart. He had confirmed from Bade who Glory was, and discovered that Bade had no child called Glory. Bade's daughter was called Nike, not Glory. And now Duro Sonya is in big shit, isn't he? Now he's afraid of the shit Martins is going to give to him, because Martins has accused him of being a killer, of not wanting to stay in this house where there's an abattoir. I think that's where that word, the title of the movie, come from. That the father has a house that's an abattoir where they kill people, you know, ritualists and all that, where they kill people to sustain their power. He now got to know that the wealth of his father was from ritual killing and all that. And so he spoke to his father, still under the influence of the drug, under the influence of the alcohol. You know, some people think that when they take alcohol, they'll have boldness to talk. But what you want to say is actually in you. So he got all that out and got a slap from his father, got disowned by his father, just like his father also. Allow me to use that word, his father. He said, "You're not my father. My father died the same day my mother died." Because you can't have a ritualist for a father. One day you wake up and kill you. Is that not so? Okay. So enjoying that wealth is not enjoyment at all. So don't even think it. Run away from it. Separate yourself from it. And so all those words got Chief Duro Sonya worried. And the only solution that could come from Bade, his best friend, was to take Martins to Baba Gbero, being a man of God, who the wife knew. And we also got to know in this season 2 that Bade's wife and family, they are living abroad, while Bade is just alone in Nigeria as an inspector of police and into politics and all that, you know. So, but Bade suggested that they send Martins to Baba Gbero because Martins needs a godly father figure, somebody with good morals. And you see, Martins actually craved that, because he saw that in Victor, but Victor didn't know what he had. You know, we do not know what we have until we lose it. Victor did not understand the importance of having godly parents, but Bade saw that Martins needed a godly parents to emulate, to, you know, a godly figure, somebody with good character, good counsel, everything that, you know, shows godliness. And Baba Gbero had that as a man of God, as a servant of God, who was the pastor of Bade's wife. And so Bade suggested that we bond up Martins and take him to Baba Gbero to stay with. And that distance, we help the two of them. We save Chief Duro Sonya from the scandal that the son, Martins, will maybe cause him, you know, accusing him like that. He may even go the length of going to the police or some other, you know, whatever he may want to go to. But then Bade saw that as an escape route. Isn't the church, the godly people, God, the final bus stop for everybody? Yes. So even as a cultist, somebody into a ritual killing, he knew that God is still the solution to every problem and every challenge. He knew that God is still the final bus stop. And even though he wouldn't go to God because he was so dead in his sin, he encouraged somebody else to take the son to God, his best friend Duro Sonya. And that was how Martins got to Baba Gbero. So Baba Gbero prayed for him and told him to let go and forgive his father and let the future be bright for him. And I spoke extensively on that forgiveness last week when I spoke about episode 1. I don't think I'll go there today. If you have not watched my review of Abattoir season 1 episode 1, please go check it out. It will be a blessing to you. Thank you all for today. Please share this video with somebody, and if you have not watched Abattoir, I will drop the link below in this video so you can watch it. It will be a blessing to you. I love the movie. It's been a blessing to me and my family, and I know it will bless you too. Do well to subscribe to this channel and stay blessed. I'll see you again with the next review of episode 3. Till then, stay blessed and bye.